Well, there is no such thing as a free lunch, and your state lawmakers are taking freebies they do not want you to know about. Only CBS 5 Investigates Morgan Lowe is exposing the hidden gifts.
In September of last year, 9 Arizona state lawmakers, both Democrats and Republicans, flew to Salt Lake City for an all-expenses-paid trip. The tab picked up by a Utah company, trying for 3 years to persuade state leaders to buy its computer software for use in schools across Arizona, a potentially $36 million deal. You won't find much about that trip to Utah in the lawmakers' financial disclosure forms, just one line with the name of the company. But our investigation found tens of thousands of dollars in undisclosed gifts, meals, drinks, even trips showered on our lawmakers, affecting their judgment every year. This is a list you will not see on any state government website or other public record. It has names and dollar amounts, the value of freebies lobbyists have given to our state representatives and senators. CBS 5 Investigates obtained the raw data from the state through a public records request. We spent more than 100 hours drilling it down to the 90 current state legislators, using accounting software to unravel the government codes that hide the expenses from untrained eyes. Not everyone was happy we did it.
Shame on you.
Shame on me.
Yeah, shame on you.
This is State Senator Don Shooter, number 1 on the list, accepting an average of $1,826 a year in food, drinks, travel, and entertainment from lobbyists. The most expensive gifts went to State Senators Steve Yarbrough and Nancy Bartow, 2 $2,400 trips to California in March of 2013, paid for by the Center for Arizona Policy. 10 months later, Yarbrough and Bartow sponsored SB 1062, the so-called Religious Freedom Bill, supported by the Center for Arizona Policy.
Gift giving is a way to influence people.
Behavioral scientists say that is no coincidence.
Because in all human cultures, we are trained from childhood. You must not take without giving in return.
Robert Cialdini is a professor emeritus of psychology and marketing at ASU. He wrote a New York Times best-selling book called Influence that explains the factors that cause people to say yes.
Reciprocity.
Cialdini says study after study has shown giving someone a gift is one of the most reliable ways to get something in return.
People are more likely to say yes to those that they owe.
But that's not what you hear at the state capitol.
A lobbyist could come right into my office right now and ask me to sponsor legislation. That doesn't mean I'm going to do it.
Representative Debbie Lesko organized a dinner in February at an upscale Valley steakhouse, paid for by industry lobbyists. Our hidden cameras rolled as more than a dozen lawmakers showed up for free drinks and expensive steaks.
And the classic response that I get is, just because a lobbyist gives me a gift doesn't mean that they're currying any favor with me.
Excuse me if, as a behavioral scientist, I laugh. Elected and appointed officials may believe that certain rules don't apply to them.
A warm round of applause for his participation. Thank you, sir.
But the rules of human behavior do apply to them.
Efforts to ban gift giving at the Capitol have stalled year after year, including this year. House Speaker Andy Tobin is arguably the most powerful legislator who could push for it.
Speaker Tobin, Morgan Lowe from CBS 5. How are you doing?
Great.
We wanted to talk to him about the gift ban.
I'd be happy to get to you. This is a bad.
Can we talk to you this week?
Of course.
Tobin is number 2 on the list, accepting freebies worth an average of $1,820 per year. That adds up to $14,500 since he's been in office. His office sent us a written statement saying Tobin supports increased gift transparency.
What's your stance on a gift ban from lobbyists?
We didn't get much further with number 1 on the list, Senator Don Shooter. He was at the lobbyist party at the steakhouse earlier this year and spotted our hidden camera.
Hey, put that away.
You don't have anything to say about this. We're talking about the amount of money that you receive in terms
Shame
of
on
gifts.
you. Shame on you. That's
Shame
what I
on
have to
me.
say. Yeah, shame on you, Morgan.
Remember the lawmakers who took the free trip to Salt Lake City? All 9 of them signed on as sponsors of a bill that would have opened up the Arizona market to the company that paid for the trip. That bill failed, but deep inside the state budget, passed in the middle of the night, is language that appears to open the door for that company anyway.
So we know that it's built into us from the beginning. The rule is you shouldn't take without giving in return.
State lawmakers are not required to disclose or even keep track of most of these gifts. But lobbyists need to record every dollar they spend lobbying, and that's how we got this information. We created a searchable database on our website, cbs5az.com. That'll be up and running in about 15 minutes. You can look up all of your state representatives and senators. But we need to tell you that these numbers are most likely low because this data was so messy. It was incomplete.
A lot of numbers to work with. Morgan, we saw how a couple of those lawmakers reacted to you when you approached them, but what was the overall reaction to this?
Most of them wanted to know how we got those numbers. They said they could not find the information themselves, and I reminded them they're lawmakers. They have the authority to have the state clean these numbers up and put them online in a searchable form for all of us.
Makes sense.